Welcome to Upper Austria now here. I'm now after my campaign stop in Linz. I'm now also in Innsbruck. I'm now in Linz in Upper Austria and I call here for NATO membership. You see here also the NATO membership flag is missing and there is no reason for it. Upper Austria, same like Innsbruck, was liberated by the Americans. Thanks America for liberation and thanks for keeping the Soviets off our back for so long, also during neutrality. But then Vienna has created a myth that neutrality was the reason why the Soviets were not invading. It was of course American security guarantees, yeah? And it is of course that America kept Europe free during the Cold War and has also significantly, mostly contributed to the end of Nazi power with defeating the Axis. Yeah? And that now Mrs. Dana wants to create a neutral axis with La Valletta and Malta and Cyprus is very, very, very boring actually, and it's a bit ridiculous. Yeah? So the point is, yeah, Upper Austria should be at the forefront. I mean, this was the border of freedom. Here at the Danube and at the ends, it was where the Americans have supported the freedom and have defended freedom from 45 to 55, yeah? And ever since afterwards actually as well, because we had of course complicit security guarantees from the Americans to defend us in case of Soviet takeover efforts, which there was already one politically in the year 50 and it didn't really materialize because we couldn't have never stopped them in 56, but they were busy to kill the Hungarians and so we were safe by that one. And we always try to outsource our security to Eastern Europe, but it's not very fair, it's not solidarity, and it's obviously immorality, what we are doing now towards Ukraine. I said that very clearly when Mrs. Tymoshenko was at the political academy, and now, unfortunately, Mrs. Dana she left already, but I will make the case again and again that this is unacceptable Austrian immorality and anti-European solidarity, because we are one of the few countries left in Europe which do not deliver anything for the victory and the defense of Ukraine, and that's completely outrageous. I attacked also, and I criticized, not attacked, but the governor here of Upper Austria who has criticized the sanctions. I know him from my youth. And of course he has a coalition with the nationalists who are sponsored by Putin, and that's probably the reason. And also he's not very interested in international affairs, and so he decided to criticize the sanctions. That was a big mistake, one of his several big mistakes. First of all, that after the elections he has continued his regional government built with the party of Jörg Haider and now with Kickl. And of course they are very pro-Russian party and they are neutralists and they are populists and xenophobes, anti-Semitic, and they are all what Austria shouldn't be. Unfortunately partly is. And of course it's a big mistake to have a government coalition with them, and they should be cancelled and a new government coalition is needed in Upper Austria, and I call for that. Yes, I call for NATO membership, which is the logic, and also then to continue to open up Austria from these unfortunate xenophobic tendencies, this closure, this protectionism, this anti-Semitism, all this bad stuff. Yeah, it's all so bad. It's really disgusting. And what we need is real openness here to say yes to the trade agreements with the Americas and of course with Africa, India, with the Gulf Cooperation Council, the whole list. And of course to have lower taxes, more openness, more focus on economic growth, and also to open the labor market for all people who are from EU candidate countries fully, and also to open it up reasonable well to the rest of the world, because this kind of closing us from the world is totally wrong. And it's totally anti-European, and it's totally economically inefficient, and it creates more problems than it solves, as we have recently seen in Linz, because when you let the people then just sit around and you don't work actively to integrate them into the mainstream society, then it creates a lot of problems. And of course it's all connected with this kind of mentality of protectionism, xenophobia, anti-Semitism, anti-Americanism, which I fight consistently for the last 30 years. And I'm here to continue this campaign today. And it's my call to end this coalition and build a more pro-European coalition. Thanks a lot. Bye.